Today in History. Okay, it's time to take a look back at history.
Yes, and we have one event to share with our listeners today, but first here is the quiz question. What's the name of the most common mechanical ride found at amusement parks? Number 1, roller coaster. Number 2, bread toaster. The question again, what's the name of the most common mechanical ride found at amusement parks? Is it number 1, roller coaster, or number 2, bread toaster? If you know the answer, you can put it on our Bundy board or text in on your cell phone, pounder sharp 1045 for 50 or 101, depending on the length of your text, to win a 외식 상품권.
All right. Okay, so we're going to be discussing just one event, and here it is.
Today in history. In 1885, the roller coaster was patented.
1885년 1월 22일에는요, 롤러코스터가 특허를 받은 날입니다.
All right, so today we take a look at one of the beginnings of the most popular mechanical rides found at amusement parks.
And that was the first U.S. patent for a roller coaster structure issued to La Marcus Thompson on this day in 1885.
Thompson's roller coaster was built in Coney Island, New York, and it was renamed the Gravity Pleasure Switchback Railway.
The popularity of the ride was such that Thompson earned enough to build 50 more across the U.S. in the next 4 years.
Sure, yeah. When you look at the photos on Point and Radio, they don't look nearly as scary as the ones they have today, right? Well, it was the beginning of a series of innovations that paved the way to the amusement park structure as we know it today, with the roller coaster being generally the main attraction, right?
Right. But the history of this thrilling and stable ride goes back to a couple of centuries before, to the 17th century in Russia.
Now, according to records, hills of ice were built around St. Petersburg, and they were known as Russian mountains.
오, 상트페테르부르크라고 흔히 우리가 알고 있죠. 바로 그곳에 얼음 언덕을 짓고 타고 놀았던 것이 사실은 그 시초가 되는군요. So that's why roller coasters are known in many languages, including Spanish, Italian, French, by that term.
Oh, and ironically, the Russian term for roller coaster literally translates as American mountain.
That's an irony.
That's funny, isn't it?
네. Okay, well, as to why it is called roller coaster, there are several theories, including one that explains slides and ramps of the ride were fitted with rollers over which a sled would coast or move without the use of power.
Another theory states that the name originated from a ride located in a roller skating rink, but I think the first one is true if you had to ask me.
So that's what coast means.
Yeah, just to go along without any power.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you pedal your bike and then stop pedaling, the bike will continue to go, and you're coasting.
아, 그렇구나. 그래서 roller coaster가 된 거군요.
You can also use that expression or that word figuratively, to coast, to mean to work without much effort.
아, 그냥 시간 때우는 거.
Yeah,
그래서
it's
as
kinda
being
coasting.
a clock watcher.
Yeah, exactly.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
언제 시간 가나 보면서 이렇게 빈둥빈둥 될 적에도 그 coasting 한다고 하는군요. 또 써놔야겠네. 네. 자, 동력 없이 움직인다라고 할 때 coast, 그래서 roller coaster. 자, 오늘은 바로 그 roller coaster가 이제 특허를 취득한 날입니다.
You're not much of a fan of roller coasters, right?
Never.
Yeah.
절대. 네.
I used to be when I was young, but maybe not so much anymore. I don't know.
그러시구나.
Yeah. Before we finish up the answer to the quiz, the question was, what's the name of the most common mechanical ride found at amusement parks? And the answer is number 1, the roller coaster.
Okay, that's all we have for today in history, and we'll come back tomorrow with more from the past.